Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of MPA 594 Comp Exam. My name is Greg Zarko and this is my week 2 presentation. This slide will serve as my overview. So this week we're supposed to talk about two theories and apply them to a modern day situation in public administration. I have selected efficiency and bureaucracy. I will also be discussing one concept that holds true today and also one concept that needs to be updated. Okay, so the first theory that I'd like to discuss is scientific management by Frederick Taylor, and his ultimate purpose for creating scientific management um, was to increase efficiency. He believed that by breaking down a job to its lowest level, that he can create more output of the product they were producing, and in return, it would lower the cost of the job, increase the profits, and it would be a win-win situation for the owners of the business and the employees of the business because they would in turn get paid more. Um, there was many problems with scientific management, which I'll discuss later. But when I think of efficiency in today's public sector, I really had to think about this. And I came up with the United States Postal Service. And for me, someone here in Hesperia, California, who can send an envelope or a letter and pay 40 cents, and it could reach someone in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in 3 days. I mean, that to me is the definition of efficiency. Um, the United States Post Service. There's many departments within the post office. You have customer service, the people who greet clients like myself. You have the transportation, the people who put shoes to the ground, deliver those packages. The people who work on the maintenance of that transportation, and then overall the distribution for places that are further than the local area. Um, so I really thought that Taylor's efficiency or scientific management theory would apply here. After completing my presentation, I came back to this slide because I couldn't talk about efficiency and not bring up Max Weber, who also believed in the one best way to do something. He was also believed in efficiency through the characteristics of bureaucracy, as where Taylor focused on the ground level with the individual workers. Max Weber had the whole organization in mind. I just wanted to say that. Thanks again. Have a good weekend. So after completing my presentation, I went back to this slide because I felt that it was incomplete to talk about efficiency and just leaving it at Taylor. Um, have to bring in Max Weber. He set up bureaucracy, the characteristics of bureaucracy, and he believed in the division of labor. So while Taylor was efficient and thought of the one best way to do it, it was at the ground level, as where Max Weber looked at the organization as a whole. So I couldn't talk one without the other. Thanks again for listening. The second theory that I'd like to discuss is management theory by Mary Parker Foley. And she really was ahead of her time. You hear a lot of people say that, and it's true. In a time when scientific management was at its all-time high, when workers were replaceable and were given a second thought, um, here comes Mary Parker Foley and says that we can be more productive if we take into account the people that make up the system. That by knowing who they are, by humanizing them, um, we can get the employees to to be more motivated to take accountability and want to do good for their employers. Um, they want to be more productive. They want to increase proficiency, um, and so and it's come full circle as where now we're kind of in that era now again where employees are demanding more of their employees, where employees are demanding more of their employers. Um, they want to be heard. They want to have a say in the matter. So Mary Parker Foley, way ahead of her time, still relevant today. Um, yes. There were so many great things about the scientific management, especially at the time. It was revolutionary. It helped expand America with the railroads. Um, So many great things to talk about. Unfortunately, with the times changing, scientific management has also need to be changed or updated at least. Um, More emphasis now is used in human relations and how to approach employees. Um, and at the time, if an employee in the line was having issues or couldn't keep up, Taylor would just substitute him for somebody else, and the line would keep moving. Sort of a Darwinism approach. But in today's age, you can't do that. If one of the employees is having issues at home and it's affecting his productivity at work, then a manager or a supervisor needs to take that into account and find out what the problem is, um, in order to make sure that employee is better and in a right place of a mind frame, to do his job or to do their job. Um, and this is where I think scientific management needs to be updated. So one of the theories that still holds true today, or I believe still holds true, is Mary Parker Foley's theory of management, right, which we get a glimpse of in the giving of orders. And she really believed in teamwork. She really believed in fluid management style, which meant that people could different leaders could lead different situations, or they could take turns leading. And she really believed in humanizing the worker, and that by doing so, it would increase productivity. Um, and we see examples of this in the private sector. We see Google do it with how they have a cafeteria set up and sleeping rooms for their staff. But in the public sector, this was a management style that was just taking hold in the military when I was leaving, where leaders were brought in and they were asked to come up with ways on how to approach a certain mission or what they would do differently. Regarding what they were about to do. So this was just taking over in that area. Um, I could also kind of see it in the school system. My wife was a teacher, so I see when she would meet up with the rest of her teachers and they would discuss the best approaches that to teach the children, or the different theories that they believe would help mold those future philosophers. Um, so I still think that especially with how new the new work sector, how the new employees are, they want to be valued, they want to be recognized. And Mary Parker's Foley's theory is definitely just as applicable today as it was back then. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to listening to yours. Have a good week and God bless.